Welcome to the Pick Truth podcast, where we read confessions that people send us or that we find online and rate them based on the level of heat.
A truth can range from a bell pepper to a Carolina Reaper.
All right, let's get started. Hey folks, this episode of The Truth may describe topics and or language that may be sensitive to some. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to Pick Truth. I'm your host, Dr. Vicky Harris. I'm here with my co-host,
LaMont Hearn Jr.
and we are here to bring the heat. All right, I have two truths this month. I have two truths for this week's episode. I think both of them are pretty hot. One's an absolute Carolina Reaper, and the other one might be a Thai or jalapeno.
Yeah, I've got two as well, and I definitely think mine are on the higher end.
Before I go into my first truth, I want to talk about some of the feedback we've received on some of the episodes that have already aired.
Yeah.
One being, I've gotten a lot of feedback about the lights in the bathroom. Like about the, I think this was that episode 1?
Yeah, I believe so.
Where the person thought it was funny to turn the lights out in public restrooms.
Oh, yeah.
I have gotten a lot of feedback on that.
Oh, yeah.
That it was funny until you brought up the kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's right. It's terrible when you
yeah.
got kids might be scared in there.
Yeah, that's when I got to the bridge too far.
That is when it hit the bridge too far.
Absolutely.
And the Target belt switch. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
So what is your opinion? I know we talked about it on the show.
Right.
Has it changed based on anyone else's perception about stealing? Is it stealing to switch prices?
No, not really. It hasn't really changed as much as I found it interesting just to catch so many opinions. It seems like most of the opinions I've received from people have been kind of the similar tone that it is stealing. I haven't had too many people say the other way. I have had people kind of mention that they've compared it to other things, such as streaming services or things like that, where they don't see it the same way. Those have definitely been interesting, and they've really come from all kinds of people that I've been surprised by as well, that have been interested in the podcast just in general. How about yourself?
So a lot of people were saying that it's stealing, absolutely stealing.
Okay.
Absolutely not okay. I actually had a long conversation with someone who was close to me, and we discussed, they actually had worked at Target. And there may be numerous amounts of reasons why I think an item is priced one way versus another similar item with of a different size.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just thought it was pretty interesting to see everyone kind of have almost a polarizing opinion.
Right.
That it's not that big a deal because it's a large corporation, and then some people thinking, oh no, it is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's stealing, and you just want to call it something different to make yourself feel better.
Right. So my question to you would be, where do we draw the line? So like we've all been in a department store and you find something in the wrong location. And it's one thing for someone to put something in the wrong location, but it's a whole nother for, like, let's say a stock person happened to place an entire detail of an item in an incorrect location and the price is different. Do you feel like that's stealing?
No, I don't think that's stealing. If the price tag, so on the shelves they'll have the specific item and is it UPN?
UPC?
Yeah, the UPC. Yeah, that's a network. The UPC.
Yeah.
If it matches the UPC, it's not stealing. I mean, if the UPC price tag says $1.99, it should ring up $1.99.
Right.
But if somebody has put brand new shoes where shoelaces go, those shoelaces are not $1.99.
Right.
And even though it's in that location, that UPC is not going to say $1.99
Yeah.
for it'll say shoes. So.
Yeah.
6 one way, half a dozen another. That's my favorite saying. It is what it is. It's if you take some meat, if you take some steaks, and you're going to put like the chuck roast on some prime rib, that is stealing.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's still a steak. It's still from the cow.
Right.
But it's different quality of steak.
It's clearly different.
And I just think it's still stealing. So that's some of the feedback we've had, and I love it. I love people not necessarily agreeing.
Right.
It just kind of makes things fun. It makes it interesting to hear everyone's opinion because we all have different experiences, and that is why our scale is so different, and we can be listening to the exact same truth or confession and have a completely different perspective.
Absolutely.
All right, but with that, let's get right into it. So my first one, guys, this one is we'll probably have a show warning on for this one, but this one is titled, I was really violent towards small animals when I was little. So this guy gives a disclaimer. I'm going to read his disclaimer. Before you comment, please don't tell me what a horrible person I am for being like this. I'm a completely different person now, and I have been for years. I have multiple small pets who I love and would absolutely die for. But this has been keeping me up at night lately, and I'm in tears as I'm writing this. So if you have anything to say, please don't be mean, even though I may deserve it.
Okay.
I don't know where those impulses came from or why I effing thought it was okay to give in to them. But I was little and a horrific child, and I did. I used to flick toads in the face just to get them to rabbit. But one time I flicked one's eye by accident and probably blinded him. I don't exactly remember how. My memory is just spotty, most likely due to trauma. But I broke my hamster's little ankle. I desperately wanted a bunny just so I could hurt it. Thank God I never got one. I can't think of any other examples, but I was just overall a really shitty child and had a lot of impulse towards pretty much any small animal that I almost always acted on if I could get away with it. I just need to get it off my chest because I absolutely adore little animals now, but every time I see a picture of a frog or a hamster, I want to punch myself in the face.
Yo, he's wilding. I'm sorry. I know he said don't judge, but I'm judging hard. That's like a Reaper off top.
Really? You think it's a Reaper? Yeah, I do too. I'm just saying
Yeah, man. Like I can't even hold any other instance there where I would like to pretend like that's anything but a Reaper. Abusing small animals, basically abusing anything that is helpless like that is just wrong. That's just bad off top. I don't even see any other way. And I do understand him saying he's different now, and I commend you for being different and being able to address that and be honest with yourself. But it's still a Reaper. There's no question. Those animals did nothing to deserve that other than being there, which is inherently why this is a problem. I don't condone that, and you should feel some shame. There's no question. But based on our scale, taking it to the grave, yeah, I think you probably should have kept that to yourself. Like that's terrible. Maybe, but then again, if this was therapeutic for you to get it off your chest, then I condone that as well. So I'm kind of torn.
So I would absolutely agree. It's a Carolina Reaper.
Yeah.
And so me asking you initially was just to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely, this is outlandish. Okay, so I will tell you the very first time I read this, I misread it, and I thought he said he flicked the frog's eye out. And I was like, what? How hard are you flicking a frog? Okay, so I see this in a couple of different ways.
Okay.
When I was initially reading it, I thought, okay, there's this bad butt kid who wants to hear a frog rabbit, and he's flicking the frog. I might not have given him a Reaper for that.
Right.
Then we got to the broken, what was the
Hamster
broken?
leg.
The
Ankle,
broken.
yeah.
Yeah, you broke the ankle of a hamster.
I didn't know it was possible.
Didn't know it was possible. But I'm trying to figure out, like, what did you do? You can't remember? That's some stuff that's indelibly in my mind. Like, if I broke one of my pets, anything,
Right.
I'm knowing how I broke it. Like,
Yeah.
What did you do? Did you throw them? Did you? So, and then it's like your parents, like, yo, if you had some trauma experience, I don't know. But there's a lot there.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm like, okay, accidents happen. I've seen my boys pick up our poor dog and like put him down. Stop.
Right.
I could see accidents happen until he got to the bunny.
Yeah, like
This father said, I wanted a bunny just so I could hurt it. Now you have gone too far. You have taken the bridge too far. That's when I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's like Pontchartrain bridge too far.
Like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
It's you. I'm glad you didn't get a bunny, and honestly, I'm glad that you don't treat animals that way now.
Right.
But who wants to get a bunny to hurt them? Like, I've never what impulse do you have to be like, oh, see that bunny? I want to muck it up. Like, I'm gonna muck that bunny up. Who does that? And you don't want to be judged, yeah, but it's hard not to. It's hard not to look at you and be like, are you a serial killer now? Like, do you hurt humans? Like, I don't hurt small animals now, but I got somebody chained up in my basement.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
He didn't indicate whether or not he's escalated to bigger animals or people.
That's true.
If we see a newscast about bro wilding out and he doesn't murder somebody, be like, makes sense.
That makes sense. You used to hurt animals as a kid.
What is that movie with Glenn Close where she doesn't she put the bunny in the microwave?
Oh my goodness, it is Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, like that's what it made me think of. Was like, did he see that movie and it made him feel like sane? You know what I mean? Like, did he get that energy and go, yeah, that's what I need?
I can't even imagine. Like, I just can't imagine hurting a bunny. Like, first of all, it's called a bunny. It's like the whole connotation is this big, fluffy, white and gray little animal that's just. Who hurts bunnies? Like, what is? Listen, sir, you have a reaper. If I had an alarm, it would be a fire alarm going right now, letting you know that was on fire. Don't tell anybody else that. Should you feel bad that you used to hurt animals, I will say this. Forgive yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not hurting small animals anymore, forgive yourself. But if you have graduated and you're hurting big animals.
Or people.
If you're hurting humans now, like, oh, that frog wasn't enough. Like,
now you just stumping babies or grown folks in the eyeball.
They didn't scream. Like, I'm going to need you. I don't know.
I need you to go to jail. I'm not even going to mince words with you. I need you to go to jail. Okay. Because you're doing too much. Or to a psych ward, something. Because, and that's only if you're going there. Like, if you really have learned from whatever issues you may have had, then cool. Like she said, forgive yourself. But if you're doing any damage to anybody or anything like that now, I don't know. See, I say that and I wonder, like, I'm afraid of spiders. Mm-hmm. So if I see a spider, I'm not worried about its ankle. I don't care. Like, it's got to go. The only spider I'm not afraid of is like daddy long legs. But if I see a spider in my house, make no questions. I'm killing it. Judge me how you want.
And again, at least I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bunny. You know what I'm saying? Like LaMont, like every time I see a bunny in my yard, I try to like hurt it.
Yeah,
I try to get a bunny for my kids so I can secretly go in there and pinch it. Like,
fold its ears or some weird stuff.
I see that as very different.
Yeah, those are different. I mean, I just wanted to make sure I put that out there because I didn't want nobody thinking if they see me out one day and I kill an ant or a spider or something like that, they'd be like, "You lied, you liar." No, I didn't lie.
Let's be clear. There's some stuff I'm judging that I've done. Now, I may not have. We might have not read it on this, read them on this podcast yet. But just FYI, I've done some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm still gonna judge you because I know it was stupid. And again, to this guy, if he's not doing it anymore, kudos to you. Give yourself some self-compassion. But also, does it work when you flick a frog? And does it rabbit? Like, I don't even know how. I was afraid of frogs. I thought they were all poisonous.
Oh, you thought they were all poisonous dart frogs?
Yep, okay. I thought they were all poisonous. So, like, I wasn't messing with no frogs.
You just stayed away from all of them.
And grasshoppers. I kid you not.
Grasshoppers?
I'm afraid of grasshoppers. To this day, I'm absolutely afraid of grasshoppers.
Why? What happened?
Because they're going to jump up and grab me and, like, go pull me down into their world. I don't know. It's just because they jump. I can't do it. I can't do it needs to be still somewhere.
So you think there's like swole grasshoppers out here benching?
It could be a baby grasshopper.
And you think it's going
to if it
grab
jumps,
you?
I'm jumping. Like,
heck no.
We all joke about me having no fight, flight, and freeze, and I only freeze.
Yeah. Not
with grasshoppers. With grasshoppers, I'm out. I will run. I will more likely run from a grasshopper than a zombie. Okay. So I'm afraid of grasshoppers. I'm afraid of the little grasshoppers because it jumps.
Right.
And I feel like it's coming for me, and I don't want it to.
Yeah. So this is definitely a reaper.
Okay.
And I think we have agreed on that one. This is definitely a reaper.
All right. So let's get into your first one for today.
All right. So my first one for today. The title is, I just put Listerine on a girl's ankle monitor. She's going to get life because of me. She has 2 ankle monitors. One is for her alcohol abuse. I put Listerine on the alcohol one. She's been charged with DUI manslaughter and doesn't give a shit. She's trying to beat it. She's had sex with like 8 dudes today because she's a hooker. She constantly does drugs and all she does is lie about stuff. I can't get her out of my house because she's my roommate's best friend. So I asked her to be my girlfriend so she would sleep in my bed. Now I have access to her ankle monitor while she sleeps and I put Listerine on it. F her.
What did you just read?
Yeah, so that throw up was somebody being terrible because they didn't like someone else's choices. I'm not agreeing with her choices, but
That's a reaper.
yeah.
The whole mentality behind that doesn't even make sense. Like, I asked to be her girlfriend so that I could sabotage her, but you know she's sleeping with 8 different dudes because she's a prostitute. I mean, there's a lot going on there. And again, sex workers, legalize it, whatever, make it plain. But like, that's just weird.
It also makes you an idiot. Like, it makes you a full-on idiot. Like, at that point, I'm not even judging the fact that you're willing to judge her or put her at risk. You're putting yourself at risk. Like, you want her to sleep in your bed. You're wanting to do all these different things to risk her life, but also makes you really stupid. This is an idiot reaper to me. Like, it's one thing for you to put this person's life in jeopardy and put them away for life. That makes you a POS. I'm trying to avoid cussing. But it also makes you seem weird that you would even risk putting yourself in this type of danger.
The person who submitted this is an idiot reaper. Like,
Yeah.
that's a whole.
Like,
we need some fan art.
Yeah.
We need an idiot reaper fan art.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, okay, you're a Carolina Reaper, but you're an idiot.
Yeah,
So we need some fan art.
Idiot. Yeah, absolutely. Just because it's nonsense. And again, we try to pick different confessions, and we try not to limit them to certain topics. But even in reading this one, my first thought was, this guy's an idiot. And Reaper second. Like, that was the thing. It's like, yeah, it's super petty that you're trying to get this person life. And I'm not condoning what the woman that you are referencing in the story did either, because she committed DUI manslaughter. That's terrible. But the fact that your decision to punish her was based on the fact that she had sex with 8 dudes doesn't seem to add up to me. Because you said she's trying to beat the charge. I understand that, but dude, you act like you wouldn't try to beat this charge if someone charged you with something from it as well. Most people aren't necessarily intending on serving their lives in prison. So do better.
Yeah,
do better.
Yeah, do better. Yeah, absolutely a Reaper. And here's another dick. I mean, you are trying to get somebody, I don't know, you're trying to get at somebody who did something that you didn't like. And again, I mean, we'll be clear. You know what? When you throw in all the other person's bad qualities, you're trying to justify a rationale why it makes it okay for you to do that. Oh, yeah. She's had a DUI. She's a prostitute. She drinks all the time. Yada, yada, yada. Like, you're just doing that just to justify you being a dick.
Yeah, just say, instead of saying all, just say, I'm a dick.
Yeah, like, I feel like there's a certain level of justice she deserves, and I'm going to dole it out.
Like, bro, you're not Batman. Like, that's what Batman was. He's a vigilante who's taking care of things by his own merit. He's not doing it by the letter of the law. And you're not a superhero, and putting Listerine on somebody's DUI thing, you're just stupid, bro. So.
Yeah. And then I wonder how many people would agree with him, like, oh, well, she's a bad person, so we need to do whatever we can to get her in jail, without actually knowing the full breadth of what happened or what has occurred, or if he's exaggerating.
Right. In this world, I'm sure many, because a lot of people are very holier than thou, and that's not even our intentions here, like Vicky said earlier. Some of these things that we will discuss over the time frame of this podcast existing, we're guilty of as well, and that doesn't include flicking frogs or putting Listerine on somebody's
alcohol monitoring bracelet that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, so like that's not where we are in life. But to kind of get us away from that, Vicky, what's your next story?
Well, I do have one more question before we go.
What's up?
So, I've heard of breathalyzers, like you've had to breathe into a tube before you can drive your car.
Yeah, I've heard of those too.
So, how does a ankle monitor your blood alcohol from outside of your body?
So, all right. So since you're asking, I'm definitely going to be the one to say. First of all, I'm impressed that it's an ankle monitor because that means you somehow have to lean down to breathe into it. So I'm assuming he may have just been referring to it as in like popular nomenclature just to say ankle monitor, and it may be either a breathalyzer you have at home or something that you have somewhere else. I would hope, because if our judicial system is giving you these and putting them on your ankle, they're asking for you to be very limber, and I don't think that makes a lot of sense. But I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll jump into my next one, folks.
Thank you.
All right. So this next one I have. Okay. So it was a Reaper until I got to the last line. So let's
so the spice dissipated. Okay.
Yes. We cleared up the spice. Get some milk. Get a little less spicy. So this is titled, "I once licked the paint off some Tic Tacs and fed them to my friend." Title pretty much sums what I did. I licked the orange/yellow paint off some Tic Tacs and passed them off as ones they forgot to paint. He didn't even question it and just ate them. I know what I did was gross, but am I ashamed? A little. Now, but is it funny to think about? Absolutely. Also, worth noting that this was back when I was 8. He was also being mean that day, so he effing deserved my pre-sucked orange-flavored sweets.
I'm not going to hold you. I don't like the term pre-sucked at all. That just sounds very nasty. But yeah, I think this one isn't as spicy as I thought it was, due to age. Yes, at the age that we are now, I can definitely look at it and be like, bro, that's nasty. But as an 8-year-old, I'm sure, especially just in that age range in general, I'm sure some people who are listening and some of us on here have either picked a booger and flicked it at someone or farted on someone or anything. There's so many different things. I'm sure that there are many different things that we have done that we're not necessarily too proud of now. Yeah, that is gross. I'm more questioning of your friend on why they thought that Tic Tacs would come out unpainted like that. I just don't see it. Even the white ones that they made that were like the Cool Mint or whatever they were, they look coated. So there's a definite difference between as you stated, pre-sucked Tic Tac. Such a gross thing to say, but I'm only having to do it for the sense of the story. There's a difference between those and a properly coated Tic Tac that I don't think could ever confuse me. Are you all still friends is my question. If you are still friends, does this friend find it funny? Do you let them feed you food? If you do, be very careful because you could be getting the trash food that we discussed in a previous episode.
You're right. He's a freegan.
Yes,
so
I would give him freegan food.
Last week's episode, if you haven't checked it out, we talked about a freegan because that's what it is.
That's still a weird term to me.
So what would you give it? What would be its ultimate heat level?
I mean, I'd say it's probably a Bell. I'm maybe a Poblano, maybe just because I don't want something out of someone else's mouth. I feel like if I was judging this based on you being 8 years old, I'd say a bell pepper. Being the age I am now, I'd probably fight you. Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for that. So, okay. I'm reading this and I'm thinking, yuck. You are sucking the candy coating off a Tic Tac and giving it to someone.
Right.
I'm thinking at my age, if I was at work and back in the day before COVID and we could actually go into offices and someone had white Tic Tacs and they're like, oh, you want some? I'm like, oh, sure. And they shake them into my hand and they have sucked all the coating off and I eat it just unaware. You're right. That is a fight.
Yeah, I'm fighting you.
You're going to touch every wall in here.
All of them.
That is disgusting.
We renovating.
Like you're sucking on it and you're just putting it back in there. That is absolutely horrible. But then when I read, oh, you were 8. Oh, yeah. Well, at 8 years old, I still would give it a Poblano. You know better. You know, my kids don't even want to drink after each other anymore.
Right.
So you know better at 8 years old that it's gross. And I don't care if the guy was being a jerk or not or whatever.
Right.
But So for me right now, it's a Poblano because it's pretty spicy. If it was an adult, it'd be a Reaper, and it'd probably be a sentence like, "We fighting?"
Yeah, I'm fighting you.
Cause think about like, take it out of candy. Let's not say it's candy. What if like you were somebody like chewing on or sucking on a chicken leg and then put it back in the thing for somebody else to eat it? Like they eat the skin off of it. And
I promise you touching every wall, like you said. There's no question. Like as an adult, like I can't even mince words about. I promise you. And I don't think there's an adult on here who's listening who will ever go, no, that's fine. I promise you. I don't care if they were Nate Robinson size, which for y'all who don't know, Nate Robinson's a very short basketball player. And he got knocked out by some YouTube dude. It was tragic. But I still would have put up every fight I could against anybody, Shaq included. No, bruh. You're not going to feed me pre-sucked food. Or freaking food. I ain't got time.
See, that's what it's the same. It's the same amount of angst you would have with the freegan. So if you had to choose, pick truth, LaMont. Which would you choose? Sucked on what's the thing called? Tic Tacs. Would you choose someone to suck on the Tic Tacs and feed them to you, or food that came out of a dumpster? Which would you choose?
So if I had to pick one of the two to survive, I would probably go with. Hold on, I got some questions first. Do I get to pick the food out of the freezer?
Nah.
So it's just served to me.
Yeah, you're served. You're served food from the dumpster, or you're served pre-sucked Tic Tacs. Pick truth. Which one would you want?
Can I just fight both?
No.
No. If I have to pick instead of fighting, because violence is not the answer.
That's right. We use our words, not our fists.
Fine. I guess at that point, man, I'm going with freaking because it could have been in a box. There's different variables there because there's a lot more chances that I'm getting something that hasn't been messed with like that. Because we both have small children and we've seen there's times where food they've had may get thrown away because they don't eat it and they didn't touch any part of it. And if it's in a container, there's a better chance of me getting something that may have only been in the dumpster maybe 10 minutes ago versus something that came out of somebody's mouth. I can't do it.
I have to agree. I think I might be taking the dumpster food over sucked on Tic Tacs. And mind you, for those who don't know what Tic Tacs are, they're like these really hard candies, but small candies, and they have like a candy coating on the outside and like a little candy on the inside, and they're supposed to be for like your breath, but really it's just adult candy.
Yeah, they are. And it's kind of like Mentos. Just candy.
You shake them up and whatever, they make noises. It's pretty great. They taste fine.
Speaking of Tic Tacs, one of my favorite movies, and I know this is not something we talk about on here, is The Wood.
Oh, yeah.
Because in that movie, they literally talk about why Tic Tacs are the thing you're supposed to use when you go to a dance. They say never gum. And one of the things they mention with Tic Tacs is they say swallow, never chew. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, man. I enjoy that movie. Sorry for this side. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
But yeah, I wonder what would you pick? So all you all listening, would you pick a freaking dinner from the dumpster from last episode? Or would you pick sucked on, pre-sucked?
Yeah, pre-sucked.
Everything about that is just gross to me. Yeah. It's like, all of that's gross to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's nasty, but I think we're going to put up a poll on the Facebook page for Pick Truth. And if you could give us your vote there. I know it's nasty, but it's part of the topic, so we greatly appreciate it. And if you have any thoughts that you want to send to us by email, you can send those to us at picktruthmail@post.com.
Yep, absolutely. So let's go to your next truth. Yeah, we're up to you. Since I want to bring up pre-sucked Tic Tacs and
all right.
Then it's like, what else are you pre-sucking? Like,
you
want the sucker?
That's just not the move.
It's
man.
just.
Could you imagine getting like a Tootsie Pop or something that was sucked down to the Tootsie Roll in there?
How many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop?
A fight.
None. These are yours.
That's all you, bro. Pre-done. Gross.
Why would you do that? Kids are dumb.
Yeah.
Kids are dumb. I would hope there's no adults out there like pranking someone.
Still going, yes, it's fun. All right.
Sucking on some. And you had to suck on it for a long time too, because that candy coating is kind of thick. Like it's a decent candy coating.
Oh, that's just nasty.
Ugh.
So my final story for today is coming from Reddit as well. And the title is, I am lying to my ex-boyfriend by telling him that I am pregnant. When my boyfriend of 3 years broke up with me for no reason, I was determined to get over him. But after a few weeks, I realized that it was destroying me to not talk to him. He did not want to get back together, but I still wanted an excuse to talk to him, so I lied. I told him that I was pregnant. I've gone so far as to send him fake ultrasound pictures. I know it's crazy and stupid, but at least it has kept him in my life, even if only slightly.
Reaper. And I have known someone this happened to. In my 20s, this is when I was really, I don't want to say unhinged, but I was just really confrontational back then. And my best friend had this girl and that he was messing around with. And he broke things off because he wanted to be with someone else. And she said that she was pregnant. I was like, she lying. He was like, he was nervous. I'm like, nah, tell her to pee on a stick in front of me. Nah, I don't want to see somebody else's stick. Don't come with a pre-done stick. Pee on the stick in front of me. That's the only way I'm going to believe that you're pregnant. That was people do that to try a level of toxicity that you have to fabricate a pregnancy to keep someone in your life. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
So if you've ever done that, if you've ever tricked someone that and told them that you're pregnant to keep them as a part of who you are, it's a reaper. It is effed up. Stop doing it. Don't normalize this behavior because it can mess up people's lives. So what if he's like, oh, I feel obligated. I'm going to go stay because you're pregnant and be miserable and she never was pregnant. You know, I know breakups are hard and I know that it can hurt and it's painful. But the longer you belabor it by making up, how far are you going to go? How far are you going to go? Are you going to have a baby shower?
Probably.
Are you going to be like, oh, I'm in labor pains. Come meet me at the hospital? Oh, the baby died before I got to the hospital? Like, how far do you go before you realize, okay, this is not going to keep anyone. I'm now building a lie in order for me to keep someone in my life. Like, it's messed up.
The scary part to me is, and yes, I am coming from this from a man's perspective, the part that gets me the most is that she can keep this lie going with one simple thing. She can say she's pregnant, send him the ultrasound pictures and everything else, and say she lost the baby. And by doing that, it will create this moment for a lot of men, I would assume, that it would pull at me. I would feel some type of way. I would be hurt because honestly, and we'll talk about a lot of our own truths at some point, hopefully. But growing up without my father, as you know, as you can relate, it would make me feel like I needed to be there initially, just by her telling me. And as a man, you don't really want to question so much. So by your friend having you in his life, it made it easier because for a lot of guys, it's a hard thing for us to be able to jump to that conclusion that there could be lies there. That's really hard to do because you don't want to say that type of thing and she actually be pregnant and now you've caused this issue. So to be in that type of instance where you're now thinking of, okay, my life is changing, I need to be responsible, I have a child on the way, and then for this to be told to you that, you know, she lost it, because that would probably be her next step in the story, then you would be looking at this person who you had feelings for in the past and that your feelings may be growing back for because of this potential of a child, and you find out she lost it, your natural instinct is going to be to want to make sure she's okay. So that would end up sucking you back in. But my question would be, you know, to her, what value does that bring to you? Because now this man is sticking by you for a lie. And what if you end up eventually getting tired of him and then you just let it out that you've lied about this the whole time? How do you expect him to respond to that? And I think a lot of times when people do those type of things, whether it's lying about being pregnant or a medical issue or whatever it may be to keep someone around, you're not really, one, being responsible, and you're being completely unfair to that person. And if he were to respond in a way that could be anything, you know, most people would probably not really give him the just due to really think about what he was put through in that instance, to be told that there was a child and you basically, you know, threw this man's whole life in disarray. So yeah, it's very tough.
I don't understand the fake pregnancy thing. I don't know. I don't understand it. And I don't understand why you want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you. Like, at the end of the day, I get people break up and make up, and I get that there are revolving relationships. So I understand that. But if you have got to come up with something that drastic,
right?
It's kind of like, yo, pick something else. Pick someone else.
Yeah.
Look for someone else. Pick something new. Like, don't come over here and lie about babies.
Right.
You know, like don't get on Wick. Talk about I'm pregnant. I gotta get my. I'm just trying to say, like, oh, you're a deadbeat dad. Like, I mean, I have a whole scenario just made up in my whole head. Like, okay, she's pretending like she's pregnant, and he's like, I don't believe you, and then she's going around telling everybody he's a deadbeat, and I'm pregnant, and it's his child, and he don't care. When reality, it's just your ploy to keep him in your life, and he probably may see it. He may see this as a ploy. Because, I mean, hopefully he has somebody, and mind you, my best friend did not allow me to go and have her pee. Right. I would have done it, though. Like, come on, pee in the stick. Let's go. In front of me. Let's go.
But even just having you there to even voice that creates a situation that he wouldn't have had otherwise, just as a man by himself. And also on the other side of this, just having a baby to keep someone around isn't necessarily the best decision either. I know people are going to get tight about that, and I really don't care. Having a child necessarily to keep someone around is just as bad, if not worse, because, no, it is worse, because you are now including a whole nother life into this that is now being affected. Because if that other person, that man does not want to be in that child's life, now you are creating another life that feels abandoned by someone just because of your selfish reason of wanting to make that other person be around. So
I have to agree. That ends it for today's episode of Pick Truth. If you like today's show, help us out, subscribe, and send the show to 2 friends. And if you have not already done so, join our Facebook group, Pick Truth, and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And you can find all the links below in our show notes.
And please don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you subscribe.
All right, catch you next time.
Later. We can't pick truth without you.
Send us your truths at picktruthmail@post.com to see if you can bring the heat.